How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis. Chapter 1. Pole Positions. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. For a great many people, getting started on the road to wealth is the most difficult part, or so they believe. The nuances of each individual case need not concern us, but the difficulties, as stated by virtually every wannabe I ever listened to on the subject, usually fall into one of three broad categories, often age-related. If young and relatively penniless, many will argue their lack of experience in capital, especially capital, dooms them to decades of wage slavery. If slightly better off and on the way up, with a halfway decent job and perhaps the probability of further advancement, the problem is often considered to be the loss of what they have already achieved, plus the lack of capital. By the time one is a senior manager or professional, probably with a decent house, a mortgage, and children, it is the risk to the security and happiness of the latter, and maybe to a spouse, plus the usual lack of capital, which are the most often cited as insuperable difficulties to taking the plunge. All such objections to becoming rich are spurious, no matter how sincerely held, but before dealing with each in turn, let me digress for a moment regarding upbringing, race, color, educational qualifications, and gender. I am doing so here because I do not wish to waste anybody's time. We will be touching on some of the circumstances described above shortly, but in a nutshell, my experience has been that money is color blind, race blind, sex blind, degree blind, and couldn't care less who brought you up or in what circumstances. Money is one of the most neutral substances on earth. Others may conspire against you obtaining it through bigotry or prejudice, but they can only succeed if you permit them to. The object of your goal in and of itself is non-sentient. If you truly believe that your race, sex, or upbringing can keep you from becoming rich, then you had best give up here. Either return this book to the shelf, or if you have already bought it, return it to the bookstore for a refund, or give it to a friend. You may obtain the refund or please your friend, but you will never get rich. Young, penniless, and inexperienced? Excellent. You stand by far the best chance of becoming as rich as you please. You have an advantage that neither education nor upbringing nor even money can buy. You have almost nothing to lose, and therefore you have almost nothing to lose. Yes, I know you've heard all that before, but consider for a moment, nearly all great fortunes acquired by entrepreneurs arise because they had nothing to lose. Nobody had bothered to tell them that such and such a thing could not be done or would be likely to fail. Or if they had been told, then they weren't listening. They were too busy proving those around them wrong without even meaning to. Not knowing that something cannot be done, you are likely to waltz into uncharted minefields where angels before you have feared to dance.